COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Meet Colorado-based filmmaker, television writer, and producer Dustin Hodge. He is the principal of Hodge Media Group and a member of the Television Academy. Since 2013, he serves as a showrunner for the TV series Little Britches Rodeo, which airs in more than 52 million homes. Dustin's work is specialized in nonprofit development, and he produced various short and feature documentaries that focus on education, healthcare, art, and other issues that America's rural communities are facing. I met up with Dustin to talk about how the lockdown in the US affected the development and funding process of his work, and what is the future of the American film and TV industry.
We had just finished wrapping the season, and we don't start filming again until July. So I thought, okay, we'll be fine. They'll come up with, they'll get this taken care of, handled. And then now I'm really fearful for our filming in July. I don't know if it'll happen because it's a youth rodeo. And so these kids compete in bull riding and barrel racing and roping events. And about the top 1,500 kids from across the United States come to Oklahoma. And about 8,000 people end up living on the grounds of this large ranch where everything happens. And there's about 18,000 people that come in attendance and watch it. So right now they're trying to figure out how do they change their protocols, to keep everyone safe. Are they going to be able to do it? So there's a lot of uncertainty right now.
What are some challenges that you were able to overcome during this time?
Since we were in between productions of the TV series, we were okay as far as, we had everything in post and we'd wrapped. But between, say, about February to about June, I do a lot of other independent work, documentaries mostly. So I was attached to an independent feature film that had most of its funding that was going to come to Colorado. And it actually, got shut down, and I don't think that funding will come back. I was also working on a docu-series, and the same thing with that. I don't think that funding will come back. One of the things I do is I'm on the Southern Colorado Film Commission. And so what we try to do is we try to bring in productions to the area, TV, documentary, video, film, and we try to bring money in, we try to bring jobs in, but also there's a university here and we want those students to be able to work on projects. I don't think that initiative will continue because I think elected officials, politicians will have a hard time pushing for film incentives whenever there's so many people unemployed, whenever there's so many people need money for rent and food. I believe a lot of people will make the argument that TV and film aren't as important, especially whenever you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have your physical needs and your safety. And I think that TV and film will continue to get pushed up. Streaming has been just increased dramatically during this, right? Where people are watching things that are familiar, that are comfortable to them, like The Office, or they're watching escape documentaries like the Tiger King. We need to see and hear and read stories for our mental and emotional well-being. And I think that for the next couple of years, I think that'll kind of be pushed to the side and our immediate needs will be focused on. And so I think a lot of those sources of funding that you normally see, whether that be state funding to the arts or federal funding or even nonprofits, I think a lot of that funding will dry up. And I think it'll be harder to go out and get that funding. Also, I think one of the things that we'll see is people that would take a chance on things that are kind of farther out there. I think they'll try to stick to traditional movies, traditional documentaries, just because I think that they think it's a safer bet financially. And so some of those really ambitious projects, I think, will have a much harder time trying to find sources of funding.
I also wanted to ask you if there has been any funding or like support from the government for the TV and film industry in general.
There's been some funding from the state level, and then individual funds have also been established. I would say about 50% of the people I know in TV and film are not eligible just because of the way they get paid or the way they book projects.
The show is called Production Postponed, but I was wondering, since we also talked about the future, do you think there could be some changes?
I'm hopeful for the future because during this time period, I've reconnected and connected with just a wide variety of filmmakers in all areas of their career. You know, those that are just starting off, those that are students, to those who have, multiple shows under their belt. And so it's been really good for everyone to just kind of reach out and reestablish these human connections we need. But I'm also hopeful because we all have a basic need to hear stories and a desire to tell stories. And whenever you look in the history of filmmaking, great film movements have come out of very difficult places.
We need new content in the future. What would you advise young filmmakers that are facing these challenges right now?
Study as many great films as you can. Watch things that you normally wouldn't watch. Read great novels, read great screenplays, and then start writing. Also, if you have access to your camera phone or any camera, start filming things and really get those. It takes time. It takes a lot of time to develop an aesthetic and to realize what shots work well with other shots. So practice. So use this time because normally you wouldn't, right? You'd be in class or you'd be, struggling and working, maybe 3 jobs. And so really just try to make the most out of this time.